is Scot Courtney. Moved back here to San Marcos 6 years ago with my wife to raise our child. That was about 6 years ago. It was my second tour of duty. I was here in the 80s, going to school here, and that's why we chose to move back here from San Marcos. Graduated there in 1990, and I'm proud to say I'm a seventh generation Texan. We've always been here, even before it was Texas. I'm a licensed attorney for 16 years, since 1994. I'm board certified in criminal law, one of only 3 in the county of Hays. I do not apologize for being a criminal defense attorney. It is a noble profession. It is a profession that you can go into court, hold your head high, and fight for the rights of all citizens. It is the protections of the Constitution that protect us all. I do not apologize for that. I am a very good attorney. I pride myself on the expertise that I bring to the courthouse. I pride myself on the knowledge of the law. Approximately 35% of my practice is here in Hays County. The rest of my practice takes me all over the state. I practice in over 47 different Texas counties. I practice in 10 of the 14 courts of appeals. I practice in the Court of Criminal Appeals, the Texas Supreme Court, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, the Federal District Courts of Texas and Mississippi, Louisiana, and Florida, the United States Supreme Court. My experience is vast. I also have experience in other areas of law: family law, probate, partnership and corporate formations, trademarks, copyrights, civil asset forfeitures, entertainment contract. I'm a published author. I've written a book, and I was published in law school on law review. And as I said before, I do not apologize for my chosen profession. I feel it's a noble profession. I want to bring that nobility to the court here in Hays County. As part of my job, I represent peace officers all around the state of Texas through what's called TMPA. It's a so-called sister organization of CLEAT. Most law enforcement officers, if they are members of unions, are members of CLEAT or TMPA. There's no crossing. CLEAT just happens to be the local area union. They do great work. They protect our law enforcement officers. That's what I'm proud to say I do all over the state. In 2004, before we moved here, I was nominated and named one of the top lawyers by H Texas Magazine in Houston. Right on the heels of that, my wife and I chose to move to San Marcos. We did not move to San Marcos to make our riches. We moved here because we love it. My practice still takes me away from Hays County. That's the one reason why I want to run for this office. I want to dedicate myself to Hays County and the citizens here. And I think I have the professionalism and the knowledge to make that court the best in the state. I think Hays County deserves the best and everything this legal profession has to offer. I want to contribute my talents and expertise to Hays County. I want to dedicate my talents, and most importantly, I want to remove politics from the district court. I think it has infiltrated it, and it's something that one reason why I'm running for this office. The job of district judge is not one for civic reward. It's one for excellence. Excellence in the job and dedication to the job. Thank you.
Thank you. The docket continues to be overcrowded with crimes against persons. These include sexual violence and child abuse cases. Many of these cases have been continued for an extensive amount of time. What are your plans to alleviate this backlog and allow these victims to have their day in court?
Well, I don't think there's any excuses for it. The judge is there to administrate the case. I noticed one of the earlier cases talked about subpoenas and law enforcement officers standing around not knowing when they're going to be called. That's part of it. The judge is there to keep a case on track. The judge is there to manage his docket. The judge is there to make sure that those victims do get their day in court, to make sure that they do get to come in and face their accusers, not to continually put the case off for an extended period of time. That also runs into jail overcrowding. If you have one, you'll probably have the other. It's a series of events, and they are all interconnected. I have practiced throughout the entire state, and I have seen all the different systems and how it's done. And I've seen how it's done effectively. And I'd like to bring that to Hays County. I agree. There's no excuse for it. Judge Henry suggests that he wants to look at it and he's going to lock down on it in the future. Well, there's been 6 years of it. The time to lock down is past. I agree. You do have to look at it on a case-by-case basis and be fair and impartial to both sides. But there comes a time, after an extended period of time, we call in our business, it's time to fish or cut bait. And you bring the parties to the table and you tell them, look, we're going to try this case. It's not being done. Thank you.
Next question is to you, Mr. Courtney.
Yes, sir.
What sanctions do you foresee being levied against an attorney who fails to show up or is not prepared for pre-trial and trial? Are you willing to take a strong stance against these attorneys? And now,
Of all the judges that I've admired and who I've been in front of are the judges that most of the lawyers fear. And why do they fear them? It's not because they're hard. It's not because they're unfair. It's because they're demanding. They demand that the lawyers that are in front of them be prepared, to be ready, not to give them lip service while they're not, certainly not to give them lip service while they're not there. The first job is to be there, on time, ready. Absolutely, I would advocate coming down on lawyers that don't do that. There's something called contempt of court. It's in the judge's power to hold anybody. Any lawyer who is not following the court's rules to hold them in contempt of court. That certainly is a tool available. And I certainly wouldn't be hesitant to use it if I had lawyers coming into my court that were unprepared or just plain on not showing up. And I'll tell you, if they were on the court-appointed list, they wouldn't be there. It's unprofessional.
Subpoenas are issued for cases, and frequently officers do not find out until the last minute whether or not their case will go to trial. Officers have to sit for hours or wait for days for their time on the stand when the case finally is called for trial. This often results in the officer losing sleep, lost wages, and manpower shortages on the streets. What can you do to help make this problem more manageable and ensure more timely appearances for officers and witnesses in a trial?
I think the mere fact that the question is being asked illustrates some of the shortcomings. That question wouldn't be asked if those issues were being properly addressed. I agree with Judge Henry. I advocate managing the cases efficiently. I too practice news reports. I too appear on those announcement documents. But many times we don't know what cases are going to trial the next Monday. Nobody. Prosecutors, defense attorneys, much less the witnesses or the victims. Witnesses usually being law enforcement officers. I've been in many jurisdictions where the judge sternly tells everybody there, look, these are the cases that are going, period. Be here Monday, ready to go. Tell your witnesses, be here Tuesday morning, ready to go. I think a firm hand on the tiller keeps cases moving along. I hate to use it as an example, but Harris County, one of the largest court systems in the state, for all of the problems that it does have, the one thing it doesn't have is efficiency and an ability to move a vast number of cases through its courthouse. Many trials. You can get a felony case to trial in Harris County in 4 or 5 months if need be. There's no reason why it couldn't happen here. And that spills over into jail overcrowding and all the other problems that are indicative of the question being asked. curb bill. She wasn't real sure about San Marcos. I think she likes it. She says she's going to stay with it. So I think that's self-evident. We do love this community. That's why we chose it. That's why we came up here. And one reason why I want to run is I want to help improve it. I think Hayes County is on the edge of, you've heard all the other candidates talk about growth. Well, I've seen what it'll do with Corpus. I've seen it in Montgomery County, in Fort Bend County, in Galveston County, in Collin County, up in Williamson County. I've seen it. If the courts don't keep a hold of the burgeoning dockets, it gets out of control. Luckily, we have a low ground rate here, but it doesn't matter what the rate is. If the population grows, the numbers are going to go up. That's simple math. Thank goodness, because that's all I can do. It's simple math. Accountability. I totally agree. Accountability. Efficiency of court. I totally agree. The problem is right now, we have a court that over 31% of the cases that go up on appeal come back from the appeals courts either reversed or modified or remanded. Over 31%. That's not efficient. That's not excellence. It costs the people of Hayes County money. It's not efficient. It costs the citizens of Texas money. So when I hear that the courts are running more efficiently than ever, I ask myself, why are the questions that are being asked being asked? I disagree with Judge Henry that being that involved in the community makes him a better judge. I disagree. A judge, in my opinion, should be separate and apart from the political fray, because those are the people that are going to come from that judge and ask him to make hard decisions about who's right and who's wrong. And that judge can't have a dog in the fight. I don't owe anybody. I'm not a member of every civic organization there is. I owe nobody. I am a self-made man, but for my ex-partner that taught me many, many things about the practice of law and the support of my family and my wife. I'm a self-made man. I owe nobody. I don't owe the governor for my job. I don't owe the commissioners for creating the court. I'm asking the citizens of Hayes County to put me on that bench, and I'm asking local law enforcement to consider a suitable candidate to do the job. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for Judge of the 428th District Court, your candidates, Scot Courtney and Bill Henry.